Most people don't know that peanuts are actually a legume, so on the paleo diet we cannot have them. I also cannot tolerate any beans. So instead of peanuts or peanut butter, we like to use sunflower butter, which is what we're going to use in these peanut butter cookies. The sunflower butter is just ground raw sunflower kernels. The coconut flour is dehydrated coconut meat that's ground into a fine flour again. The fat I choose to use is palm shortening. It melts at a really high temperature, so it's a really great substitute. However, if you don't want to use palm shortening, you could use ghee or grass-fed butter. It's also really important to make sure you get your palm shortening from a sustainable source. Tropical Traditions or Spectrum brand are two of my favorites. Palm sugar is a really great low glycemic brown sugar substitute. It's made from the nectar of the palm tree. It's just dehydrated. It goes by a few different names at the grocery store. Sometimes you'll see coconut crystals, palm nectar sugar, or coconut sugar. And we have our vanilla extract, which again, you want to make sure you check your ingredients so there's no hidden gluten or additives in there. Baking soda, honey, which you could also use maple syrup, 1 egg, and a vital ingredient of these cookies is fresh lemon juice. And the reason why is because it helps react with the baking soda and the sunflower butter to not turn your cookies green. Sunflower butter has some chlorophyll left in it, and so when it reacts with the baking soda, it can often turn baked goods bright shamrock green. It's pretty fun if it's around St. Patrick's Day or you're serving it to kids, but some people are also really alarmed and email me thinking that it might be mold, so we'll put that in with the baking soda and the sunflower butter. I usually like to get a dark chocolate bar, 75 or 80% or higher, and chop it up. But when you are in a pinch, Enjoy Life is a fabulous brand. They're allergy-free, they're made in a gluten-free facility, dairy and nut-free, and since these cookies are also nut-free, they're a really great option to use. So our tools that we'll be using today are a stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can use, again, an electric hand beater or just do it by hand. A cookie scoop comes in handy when you're making grain-free cookies because the dough is a little bit more sticky. And our parchment paper, one of my best friends in the kitchen, not just for cleanup, but also for preparing doughs. We'll start by creaming the palm shortening with our egg and honey. Just 1 egg into the bowl. We'll just cream this until it's light and fluffy. A lot of people ask me why I use palm shortening in my baked goods as a dairy substitute instead of coconut oil. And that's because of the high melting point. It gives a really great cake-like texture, where a lot of times coconut oil can make things a little bit more dense and oily. Now we're going to add the sunflower butter. If you don't have nut allergies, an almond butter would work well for this too. I think that sunflower butter actually has a closer taste to peanut butter. You do need to read the ingredients on them though. Sometimes they'll add unnecessary oils and sugars. You really just want sunflower seeds and salt. Go ahead and add our vanilla extract. We could do the lemon juice at this time as well. Make sure that the lemon juice is fresh. If you get the bottled kind, it won't counterbalance that reaction from the sunflower butter. Now we'll put in the rest of the dry ingredients. It's coconut flour, baking soda, and that palm sugar. Just beat again until it's all combined. All right, I'm going to scrape down the sides to make sure we get all of the coconut flour incorporated. We're going to let the dough rest for just a few minutes. It gives the coconut flour some time to absorb some of the moisture that comes from the honey and the eggs in the batter. Otherwise, it's a little bit runny and it makes it hard to transfer the dough onto your cookie sheet. I found this out when I first started baking with coconut flour and everything seemed to be really runny. And one time when my son needed me, I left the dough on the counter by accident and came back to a perfectly thickened dough that scooped easily and went right onto the cookie tray. Now we're going to add our chocolate, the good stuff in my opinion. If you don't like chocolate or you don't want to put it in, you don't have to. You could always add some raisins or dried cranberries as well. About a 1/4 cup of the mini chips and about a 1/4 cup of these big chocolate chunks. And you want to turn the mixer on just for about 5 seconds to incorporate the chocolate chips into the dough. Use a spatula to make sure you get all of the dough off of there. And we have our prepared baking sheet. There are 2 pieces of parchment paper. One will stay on the baking sheet and line it. And then our cookie scoop here. There's a couple different sizes. This is a mini, so we'll make a little bit more than a dozen with this because of how small these will be. But they release really easily out of here. If you use 2 spoons, you kind of end up going back and forth a lot. And this makes it really easy. We have all the dough scooped. Now, because grain-free doughs don't spread as much, I like to place a piece of parchment paper over top and a spatula and just press them down slightly. This helps them bake a little bit more evenly. Of course, you could leave them in mounds. You'd end up with kind of that gooey center and a little bit of a crisp outside, which some people like. And just peel the parchment paper right off. Our oven is preheated to 350 degrees. We're going to pop these in there for just about 8 to 10 minutes. Our cookies are all done. They take about 10 minutes. You'll know that they're done when they start to brown around the edges and flatten out a little bit more. I took one out for you guys just so you could see what they look like when they're not fully cooked. Some people really like their cookies a little bit more gooey and doughy inside. And that's just about what they look like. I like mine a little bit crispier on the outside and fully cooked through. Grain-free cookies never really get that crunchy. They'll always be a bit chewy, so even if you overbake them a little bit, they'll be fine. Now, chocolate can be a little bit controversial on the paleo diet. Some people eat it, some people are against it. That's really your choice. Again, these cookies are great whichever way you choose, chocolate or no chocolate, but I always prefer chocolate.